Now, hi everybody. Welcome to another of our Grandmaster Bridge Sunday guest expert seminars. And today we're really delighted to have the great Karel de Raemaker, Grandmaster in Ireland. He's played international. He's done so much for the Irish junior team, as Thomas has done, by the way. Our own Thomas has done so much for the Irish juniors. And that's why our Irish juniors are doing so well. And today he's going to tell us what he is thinking when it comes to defense. And I think it's important that if you want to be a better bridge player, you want to think like the better bridge players. So getting the opportunity to hear how a better bridge player thinks is unique. You don't get that when you're playing bridge every Tuesday or Thursday in your club. But now we're going to get, Karel has agreed to go through what he thinks are the important things and how he works out a hand. And he said that he'd like to concentrate on defense. Thomas now is going to come in and comment on behalf of yourselves, but we also want you to comment if you do want as well. So Thomas will try and clarify some of the... Thomas, did you ever play with Karel?
Yes, I've had the privilege of playing with Karel. Yeah, we played a couple of league matches, haven't we, Karel?
Yeah, we did very well, to be honest.
Yeah, luckily. Well, the 2-hour drive up to Belfast always helps with the system discussion.
Exactly. Yeah.
We had one rule: you weren't allowed to discuss any hand until we got onto the Dublin motorway. Otherwise, we'd have to come down the N2 because we'd forget to turn off. That was the only rule we had.
Okay, now, well, Thomas, why don't you start with your thoughts on defence?
What I was going to do was I was going to just ask people their ideas on what they do when they're a defender. What's your train of thought, or what processes do you follow? And then when Karel goes into the first hand, he'll give us his processes and we can weigh them up as we move on, yeah?
Yeah, very good.
So would anybody like to open?
Okay, I've got to start.
Well, I was going to say that what you open, the opening lead depends completely on the bidding, because Absolutely. You have to depend on the bidding.
Absolutely correct. But we're not just talking about the opening lead. We're talking about when the lead has been made, when dummy comes down, the processes that both defenders need to be thinking about to work out a path to get their tricks. So you're absolutely correct. The opening lead is the most important part of the initial defense, and we'll be talking about that, I'm sure, as the hands come up. So that's correct. Anybody else?
Maybe how to promote cards.
In what way? Yeah, that's a defense, isn't it?
Yeah, so playing to try and establish either your own or your partner's cards.
Exactly, to promote something. Very good. Yeah. Anybody? Anything else?
Maybe visualize your opponent's hand.
Very good, Pat. Very good. Start thinking, what information have the opposition given you, and how does that correspond to what you see in the dummy and what you see in your hand? Absolutely excellent. Yeah, visualization is one of the greatest strengths of a defender. Anybody, anything else?
We're trying to communicate between the defensive partnership.
What carding you're going to play? Absolutely correct as well. Yeah, we're getting there.
Signals.
What discards you're going to do to show what you have? Correct. Yeah, that's all part of what we're going to be doing today. Anything else? One of the most basic things you can do is count your points. Count the points you know they have and subtract from 40. That's a very basic thing, isn't it? And so if they're in 3-0 trump, what do you expect them to have?
At least 25.
Right, and if you've 15, what do you expect your partner to have?
Nothing.
There you go. There's a simple one, isn't it? So there's no point in you defending, hoping your partner has a card when you know they can't have a card. Does that make sense? Counting points and reviewing the bidding. We've all said all of the points that we have to do. Is there anything else? Karel, can you think of anything else?
Yeah, we'll come through them now in the hands. To be honest, there's
Brilliant,
quite a bit in
brilliant.
it. So feel free to step in and.
Okay, so they're the
The
sort
other,
of things.
the other thing I would like to say
Go
about
ahead, Rory.
defending is a lot of people don't realize the advantage that the declarer has by being able to play his partner's cards, because his partner is dummy. So the declarer can make a plan and then execute it because he's playing both hands. In order for you to kind of balance that, you and your partner as a defender have to play completely in sync. And that's why these leads of fourth highest have developed, or top of a sequence has developed, or playing low, leading low meaning I like, and leading high meaning I don't like. It's so that your partner can get a good idea of what's in your hand, and you can start getting an idea of what's in your partner's hand. So you will eventually be able to get them to play the cards that you want. And that's the whole idea of every single card should count for something. If you watch Thomas and Carol play, they will be watching every single card that's played, because it's either a signal to the partner that I like that one, keep it going, or it's a count, or it's a signal that I don't like it, or it's an idea that, well, it's quite high there, I might be short in it. All of these things are very relevant. And as Pat said, the visualizing your partner's hand when you're defending is a huge part of defense. And this is what Carol and Thomas are so good at.
Yeah, defense is extremely hard, just as Rory says, because you need to be in sync with your partner, and you need to be able to sort of try and look at what the declarer is trying to do, and then basically do the opposite. That's the best advice. But the main thing that you really need to do is count, and count. A lot of these hands that we're going to go through, there's no signaling, there's no nothing. You can just literally defend the hand purely from counting points, counting the suits. And a lot of the time, that's the case. There is one or two of them where a signal comes in, but generally speaking, count. That is it. You need to be counting all the time. And as the play progresses, you need to be updating the picture of the various hands. Like the information that we have, say, at trick 1 is not at all the same as the information we have at, say, trick 7 or 8. There's an awful lot more cards played, and there's a lot less possibilities available.
Okay, well, Carol, what I'll do for you now is I'm going to make you host of the host of this, and I'll take it back, or you'll make me host later on when we have to, because Carol is going to use bridge-based viewer, which is an interesting way of using the technology that we have, and it's actually a great way of showing how to defend, showing just the defensive hands. And Carol, if you wouldn't mind just speaking up a little bit.
Yes.
Sure, yeah.
And so that we
Hear
can
me now, yeah?
Yeah, we
lovely.
can, yeah.
Is that? Yeah,
There we go.
You're good. Okay.
Okay, Carol, it's over to you.
The screen, 1 second now.
Rory, can I just ask,
Yes.
before we kick off on that, if your partner has bid a suit in, and the opponents then get the contract, and it's my lead, is it better to lead my highest card or my lowest card, or what, to my partner?
That's a great question.
It depends on what you have in the suit. So if you have a doubleton, any doubleton, you will lead the highest effectively.
Yeah. If I have 3 cards, say
3 to an honor, it's generally better to lead small, promising, and honor.
Unfortunately, in bridge, there's no concrete or absolute rules.
It's generally better to lead small from 3 to an honor, unless you don't have the ace and it's a suit contract. If you have the ace and it's a suit contract, it might be better to lead the ace or not lead it. But generally, what most experts would do with any doubleton in their partner's suit, if they're leading it, they lead the highest card. With any tripleton or 4 card to an honor, they will generally lead small. But there are always exceptions that might arise, and the auction would be what would enable the exception to you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Great question, though.
Okay, you can all see the board, yeah? Board 4?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, so the first thing you do, as already mentioned, is you listen to the bidding, okay? So North has opened 2 hearts. Everybody familiar with week 2s?
Yes.
Okay, so week 2 shows at least a 6-card suit, normally a 6-card suit, and 6 to 10 points. And normally you should have some decent honors in it. You know, normally 2 at the top 4 honors in the suit. Okay. 2-no trump by South is an inquiry. It's just basically asking his partner, how good is your week 2s? And then North has now bid 3 spades, which is called a feature. And that's generally geared towards trying to get to 3-no trump. So North is basically saying, listen, partner, I have something in spades. So it'll be, something like Queen XX or King X or whatever. The other thing about a week 2 is that it denies 4 cards in the other major. Are you okay with that? Okay, so that's an awful lot of information straight away. You know quite a lot about North's hand. Okay. Partner's on lead and kicks off the Jack of Spades. Okay. So straight away, right, what you do is you go through each of the suits. Okay, so we take hearts first because that's the easy one. We know that North has 6 hearts. You're looking at 4 of them, and there's 3 in the South hand. So how many hearts has your partner got?
None.
None. Okay, 0 hearts, right? You also know that the North hand has got King, Queen, Jack, 10, 6 hearts. So that's 6 of the points already that they've shown up with. Okay, in spades, the North has now shown up with the King of Spades. That's 6 and 3 is 9 of the 6 to 10 points. So how many more points can they possibly have in their hand?
1.
1, okay, at most. Okay. So if we look at the club suit, who's got the King and Queen of clubs?
East.
Does everybody follow that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. North can't have a Queen or a King, right? Your partner has the King and Queen of clubs. Okay, that's purely from counting, right? Purely from counting. Okay. North could have the Jack of diamonds. Okay, we don't know where that is. That's the information that we have at trick 1, literally at trick 1. Okay, and at trick 1 is really, really important. You stop and you try and get this information available. That's available to you at that point. Okay, so we move on. Okay, and North leads the King of Hearts. Okay, and I play low. Any idea why I'm playing low? Why am I ducking the King of Hearts?
Because it's the Queen and catch them later.
Yeah, so what's North trying to do, basically?
He's trying to
Establishes trumps.
establish his trumps.
He's trying to draw the trumps, right?
Yeah.
Fine.
Mhm.
So as I said earlier, if Declarer is trying to do something, doing the opposite is normally a good idea. So if he's trying to draw out your trumps, well, then maybe duck a few rounds and see what happens, okay? And the other point here as well is that if you look at communications, okay, when you're a declarer, right, it's really, really important that you're able to go from hand to hand, okay? And North has actually got no way back to their own hand. Does everybody see that?
Yes.
The spades is in
Yeah.
the way, right? The ace of
Mhm.
diamonds isn't dummy. The ace of clubs isn't dummy. Your partner's got the king, queen of clubs. You've got the king of diamonds. There's no way that North can get back to their hand at the moment as it stands, okay?
But Carl, if West it mistakenly wins the heart early, then that means North has the ability to draw their trumps easily.
Exactly, yeah. See
So-
Thomas' point? So if I hit the ace of hearts now, right, and I come back, whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, South's going to win that, and then they're going to be able to draw trumps, no problem.
And without any difficulty. Whereas if West refuses to win the first heart, refuses to win the second heart, and then wins the third heart, North has a difficulty in drawing the 9 of hearts. Do we see that, everybody?
Brilliant.
Yes.
So Carl's point about, I mean, it's an absolutely really top tip. If you can work out what Declarer is trying to do, you do the
Opposite.
opposite. Yeah, it's fabulous, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just ask on the very first trick why you didn't go up with the Queen of Spades?
Well,
'Cause your
partner led the jack. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I forgot that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Grant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Okay, so now basically West has put Claire in a bit of an awkward situation. And most declarers in this situation, what they would do is they would switch, they would just continue a spade, right? Because you're taught to return partner suit, okay? But that's not really going to help you, right? Because the declarer is going to win with the ace of spades. They're going to play the ace of diamonds and another diamond, or even play low diamonds and jack if they have it. Eventually, they're going to be able to ruff a diamond, draw trumps, and then the ace of clubs would be an entry to the established diamonds here. Okay.
Yeah.
But you know, right? You know your partner has a king and queen of clubs from the early analysis at trick 1. You know that, okay? And if you can get the declarer to hit the first club, and then you'll be able to go club over to the queen and get a club ruff. You see that, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. So, I mean,
Amazing.
most people looking at this, like, you know, it's like leading a 9 of clubs into the ace jack, they'll be going, my God, are you mad? Like, because you're taught, like, never to lead into a tenants, right?
Yeah, not to lead to broken honors. Yeah.
Yeah. But in this case here, because of the analysis at trick 1 and the further play, this is now the correct defense, if you wish to put it that way. Okay. There's another point here as well. Okay, so this is a little bit more difficult, right? But we know North has 6 hearts for sure. We know North has definitely got 2 spades, maybe 3, but they definitely got 2. Okay. So we know that North has 8 cards, at least in the majors. We also know that North doesn't have 4 spades, because they can't have a 4-card major along with the 6 hearts. So North has either got 1, 2, or 3 spades. Okay. Which means at best they probably have about five cards in the minors. Okay. So the point I'm trying to say here is that if North has 2 clubs only, you can't beat this contract. You think about it. Okay. Because if North has only got 2 clubs, what's going to happen is it's going to go ace of clubs, club, and then any clubs that you try and play, they're going to rough them.
Yeah.
And then the diamonds are going to come in. And that's very, very hard to see. And it takes a lot of experience to kind of look at the remaining cards that the declarer has and try and figure out what combination of those remaining cards you actually need to defeat contract. Okay. There's another massive clue as well that North has only got 2 spades precisely. Because if North had 3 spades, they wouldn't try to draw trumps. They try and get a ruff with a small trump in dummy. Yeah.
If North had king small of spades, everybody,
Yeah.
wouldn't they have a loser in spades?
Yeah.
And before they draw trumps, they'd play the ace of spades, a spade to the king, and ruff a
Third, yeah.
spade, and then draw trumps, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, did they do that?
No.
No.
So they probably don't have a.
Third spade.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what specifically what do you need the minors to have, Garrett, for you to have a chance to beat the contract?
3 clubs.
3 clubs and
2 diamonds.
2 diamonds. Yeah, excellently done.
Yeah. Does everybody see that?
Yes.
So,
And all of this stuff that I'm doing at the moment, it has nothing to do with signals or anything. It has to do with pure counting. Pure counting.
and the information that's available to you, that you don't forget about that information as you play the hand on. And as Karl said, you have to think about the distribution in the opponent's hands to give you a chance to put them down.
And another thing, I mean, as Thomas was saying, I mean, you know, if you can ruff in the short trump, this is one of these things you get taught, that gives you an extra trick.
Yeah.
So if North had 3 spades, surely that's exactly what he would do. Okay, so unless North has completely misplayed the hand, you know, it has a massive inference that he does not have 3 spades. Okay, he could have a singleton king, which would make sense for the play. But let's just say he's got two spades. Okay, so we're going to switch a club. Okay, so this is, okay, so we're going to put our 9 of clubs in here. Queen, declarer takes the ace. Okay, now the declarer is trying desperately to get back to the north hand to draw my last trump. Okay, so he tries the ace of diamonds, a diamond up, play the king. Okay, now we continue our club to our partner's known king. And our partner is obviously awake, comes back a club and ruffs. And there we go, down 1. Okay.
I think you should, I mean, that's brilliantly thought out, but it's of no value unless your partner trusts you and realizes that you have worked out something in the hand, and knows that the club rough is probably what you're after. So your partner at the same time should be doing exactly the same thing that you are doing. They're going to see the same cards in dummy, and they're going to wonder why their partner didn't play a spade back to them. And then they'll work it out that there is a third spade. There has to be a third spade in the north hand, and therefore the only way they can that this contract can be defeated is by the brilliant play of the 9 of clubs to my king, to my queen, sacrificing my queen into the 10 ace, but for a higher cause, because we think that we will get our partner in with a heart rough.
Did Declarer make a mistake, everybody?
Maybe if he finessed a diamond straight away.
Possibly, but I mean, you wouldn't generally do that. Where did Declarer win the first trick?
In his own
North.
hand.
Where could they have won the first trick?
On the table. Yeah.
And drawn the trumps that way, couldn't they? Thereby keeping the king of spades in king of spades in their
king of
hand.
spade for an entry.
Yeah. But that's something that anybody could do that, couldn't they? I mean, that's something that any declarer could make that small error, couldn't they? And the thing about defense is you have to be able to think and take the opportunities. That's what defense is about. It's about being able to think and continue to think. As Karl said, thinking at trick 7 is not the same as thinking at trick 1. And you have to be able to take the opportunities if they come to you.
Yes.
Interesting?
Mm-hmm.
Great hand, Karl.
Yeah, as Thomas says, let's just switch to the declaring point of view here. So, I mean, again, for communications between the hands, you should always try and keep entries in both hands, okay? So when a spade is led, I mean, the only entry outside of hearts is the king of spades. So you should be trying really hard to protect that king of spades, okay? Because you don't know, later, at some point, maybe you might need to get over to the north hand, okay? So he should have won the ace of spades, as Thomas says, then play on trumps. And there's nothing we can do now.
Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing we can do, okay? Because he has the king of spades to get back to draw my last trump, and that's it.
Yeah.
Well, it is another good, interesting hand, Karl, in that if West doesn't find the club switch, you'll be giving them over tricks.
Yeah.
Because he'll be able to set up the diamond suit to be able to pitch away all of his losing clubs. So even from a match-pointed pairs point of view, you're either going to be given the opportunity to hold them to 10, given the opportunity to put them down, or you're going to give them the opportunity to make 11. If they play the small spade at trick 1, you have the chance to put them down if they misdefend. If they play the ace of spades, you have the chance to hold them to 10. And if you don't find the club switch when you win the ace of hearts, well, then they're going to make 11.
Yeah.
This hand has huge potential for swings if you're playing in match points. That's it. You know, defense is extremely hard, guys. It's definitely the hardest part of the game, and you need to be really, thinking all the time, counting. And you need to
that in the clubs you play in, when you're playing in the big competitions with 16, 17 tables, if you're defending and you can hold them to par, you're almost certainly going to get an 80% board, because there's always going to be people who let them slip and make one extra trick, isn't there?
Yes.
And the other thing about this hand is when you switch to the 9 of clubs into the ace jack, right? I mean, that should be a bit of a wake-up call for East, because it's such an unusual play, if you know what I'm trying to say to you. Okay, I mean, why is your partner switching a club into the ace jack tenants? Like, that's just mad, normally speaking. Okay, so that should wake East up to the possibility of West looking for a club rough. Okay, and then the other thing as declarer, right? Even as the play went, right, it went 2 of spades to the king, and then he plays 2 rounds of hearts. Now, declarer should see what's going to happen. So maybe at that point they should have ran the jack of diamonds when they were still there.
Sorry, when West played the 9 or the 8, what did that?
1 second, watch here, right? So the jack of spades, he wins it, right? Now he plays 1 round of trumps, 2 rounds of trumps, and now he should stop, because he knows at the 3rd round of trumps I'm going to win it, and he knows he can't get into He can't get back to his hand. So at this point, he should have led the jack of diamonds and ran it. I win. Okay, I can switch to a club at this point, but now he can play ace, queen of diamonds,
And get rid of.
and he's got a discard. Okay, because he's only got 2 diamonds, so he can pitch one of his clubs on it.
And now they can't get the club rough.
Yeah, now they can't get the club rough.
So it's like a boxing match. Every time something happens, you have to be able to try and counter what has happened.
Yeah.
Mary, was your question what
Mine
club,
was what
club does East play?
What club does East play?
When you're following suit as a defender, you follow with the lowest of your touching honours.
Okay.
When you're leading, you follow with the
Highest.
highest. So when it goes 9, small, queen, ace, we knew that our partner had the king of clubs, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
We knew it from the points, but if we didn't know it, by the fact that they've played the queen, it leaves the possibility that they have the
King.
king. If they played the king, we'd know North has the
Queen.
the queen. Okay, now they can't have the queen on this hand, we've discussed that, but on other hands it is possible. So if you have king, queen, jack and you're following suit, what do you follow with?
Jack.
The jack, the lowest of your touching. If you have ace, king, small and you follow suit, what do you follow with?
King.
The king. So when you're following suit, you follow with the lowest. When you're leading, you play the
Highest.
Highest.
Everyone happy with that?
Yeah,
Yes.
thanks, Tom.
Very good
Yes.
question, Mary.
Okay, and
Great hand, Carol. Great hand.
Yeah, well, we're not finished. The final point in this hand, okay, is again, the declarer put himself into a corner, and then the 9 of clubs was led, and the queen was put in. And if declarer plays low, he can still make the contract. Okay, because now there's no way for me to get across to partner.
To get a rough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this hand, there's so many things going on. And to be honest, I mean, North made an absolute sham of it, to be honest. Absolutely.
But you have to
murdered this
take
hand.
your opportunities, don't you?
Yeah.
And that's what defense is about, taking your opportunity when it's presented to you and recognizing it, more to the point.
Okay, let me see. Do I mention all the points there? Yeah. Okay. Right, next board. Okay, so 3 spades by South. That's your normal preempt. It's got at least 7 spades. Vulnerable, they should be fairly decent. Doesn't have a 4-card heart suit. And it's got 6 to 10 points. Okay. So partner leads a 10 of hearts, and you win it with the ace. Okay, question number 1. Where's the jack of hearts? Why?
South has the jack.
Why?
Well, your partner should have led the jack if they had the jack.
Exactly. Right. So just as Thomas mentioned earlier, when you have a sequence, you lead the top of the sequence. Okay. So partner has jack 10, 9, should be leading the jack. Okay. So South has a jack of hearts. So he's definitely got 2 hearts in his hand. And we know he's got 7 spades. Okay. So that's a 9 out of the possible 13 cards that we are 100% sure he has. Okay. So it looks like, well, not looks like, he's definitely got 4 cards in the minors. Are we okay with that? Okay. He's got 2 hearts because we know he's the jack of hearts, right? So and he's played the 4, so he's definitely got 2 hearts. He's got 7 spades because he opened 3 spades. That's 9. So that means he's only got 4 cards in the minors.
So we'll do a straw poll, Carl. We will ask everybody what they would lead at this point.
Yeah.
I would lead the king of clubs.
Anybody?
That's one person.
The rest of the straw isn't coming up with any answers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd lead the
I'd agree.
king of clubs too.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So the king of clubs looks like a good idea, doesn't it? You're knocking out the ace.
It looks automatic, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But did we counter tricks that we think they have? Many hearts have they got in winners?
Two.
And how many clubs have they got in winners?
One.
That's 3. And how many winners do you think they're going to get in spades?
Maybe all of them.
7.
How many is that?
7.
So
7.
7 and 3 is
10.
10.
All right. So tackle clubs.
I might be
Diamonds.
tempted to lead a trump.
okay.
Diamonds.
Why?
Because it's your only chance.
If you don't get them now,
You might never.
You're not going to get them, are you?
Mm-hmm.
Because declarer has the ability to do what? They have the ability to get to the dummy, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we know that they're going to get 2 heart tricks. And if they've got 7, so if they've 10 tricks, we have to get our winners when?
Straight away.
Early.
Straight away. And if we don't get them now, we're not going to.
Defeat the
Then,
country.
They're
yeah.
going to get 10, aren't they?
Yeah.
So on this hand, everybody pretty much always plays the king of clubs, or
Clubs,
maybe the
yeah.
trump, just to make them play. But if you don't hope your partner has what 2 cards
Ace Jack.
of,
Diamonds.
now is it possible that they have those cards?
Yeah.
Because we're given declarer what in spades?
Ace
Ace
Queen.
Queen.
Jack.
Ace queen to 7
queen,
spades,
yeah.
or ace queen jack
Yeah.
to 7 spades, or something like
Yeah.
that. And we're given
Yeah.
declarer the jack of.
Heart.
Now, if they the jack of
Hearts.
diamonds,
Yeah.
if they the jack of diamonds, there's nothing we can
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Do you see that, folks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Partner must have the ace of diamonds, because South can't have the ace of diamonds, because then they'd have too many points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ace, queen of spades, and the jack of hearts is 7, and the ace of diamonds is 11. There's too many points. So we know West has the ace of diamonds, but the big card, the really, really big card, is where's the jack of diamonds? Okay. And if South has that, tough luck. Okay. But if West has the jack of diamonds and South has 3 diamonds, you can now put this contract down. Okay.
So do you go in with the 7 of diamonds then?
Yeah. So you're going to lead the 7 of diamonds over to partner's ace, which you know they have, and then partner should, okay, if they're on the ball, should return the jack just to make life easy.
Make it easy, to make it easy.
Yeah. Because if he comes back a low diamond, you're going to be going, oh, God almighty, does he have the jack after all or not?
Or not, yeah. And if you don't take it now, you might not get
Yeah.
it. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, but as you can see, like if you're not thinking about this, if you're not counting declare a shape, if you're not trying to figure out what's in the minors, the automatic, easy return of the king of clubs is going to allow declare make this contract when they shouldn't.
But if he comes
Okay.
back with the jack and North doesn't play the queen on it.
You'll play there.
Just wins.
Oh yeah, the 10, sorry.
10.
beg your pardon,
10.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there we go. So there's the okay. And again, South had to have 3 diamonds. If South had 2 diamonds, then we can only get 2 diamond tricks, and then the second club is going to go away on the heart. Okay. So the only way you can knock this is if South has 3 small diamonds, and West has 8 jack of diamonds precisely. Okay.
And
And it's not that.
I think, funny, Carol, that your explanation of where the jack of hearts has to be, and that it has to be a doubleton, from all the information I was giving you from trick 1, is the key to this, because if the jack of hearts is then played, they have the king of hearts to put a loser on in their own hand, and that is what you're trying to avoid. That they will be able to get rid of a loser before you get it in at all for the second time.
Yeah.
Having won you won't get in at all. Actually, you play the king, and it's taken by the ace, and now they can do what they like. As Thomas said, they have no problem getting back and forth now with that with what they have in both hands.
Any other card, bar the 7 of diamonds and South.
Yeah, I mean, the declarer could have had a 3rd heart, but
Yeah.
they might have had a club void. And if they have a club void and a 3rd heart, you coming back a diamond is the same position. You're putting them down where they could have made it. So once you know they had the jack of hearts and you assume they had the ace of spades, you can count 10 tricks. So if you can count 10 tricks, you have to play the card where you can try to put them down. Do you see the point?
Yeah.
And in all fairness, declared, did a fair job here, okay? Because the 10 of hearts, they put in the queen, trying to look like a person that didn't have the jack, right? Because most people would just run it round to the jack. Right?
Yeah.
But then you need to be saying to yourself, if partner had the jack of hearts, they would have jack 10-9. They should have led the jack. Okay, so declare did their best to try and hide the jack of hearts, but
Declarer did a good job. Declarer did a good job on this one.
Yeah.
But not a good job on the first hand.
no, the first hand was a total disaster. Okay, so
Are you getting an idea of how Carol is thinking?
Absolutely.
Are you getting an idea of how intently someone of Carol's caliber will think about a hand as it's being played, and how breezily we sometimes sit at a table and say, I know what I'll do here, without thinking it through. And when you see the Karel de Raemaker at the top of the list at the end of the game, you say, how does he always get up there? It's because he puts the amount of effort into every single hand, even when he knows he's not declared. Defense is probably the most important thing in bridge. You're liable to be defending twice as twice as likely to be defending as you are declaring. So, this is why he's doing so well. And he learned a lot from me as well.
Yeah, no, Rory has a good point there. I mean, myself and Anna, our defense is definitely the strongest point of our game. It certainly was and still is. And that's where we picked up all the points, because we knocked contracts, or we held them to the maximum amount of tricks. And as Thomas says, like if you hold the contract to par, there's always somebody that gives an over trick away. So you're going to be getting better than average score. But it's really hard, really hard part of the game.
The question: would you say it was slightly easier to defend against an opening week 2 or a preemptive? You got a better idea of the shape of the hand from the start.
Yeah, well, you initially straight away more points. Like, I mean, when South opens 3 spades, straight away they've got 7 spades. So, that gives them less options than the other suits. And then you also know there's a maximum cap on this hand of 10 points. So again, like, that tells you where the ace of diamonds is. If South had opened 1 spade, not so clear anymore.
Well, Simon, I wouldn't say, when you're able to describe your hand in 1 bid, it gives your partner carte blanche to put you in a contract. So opening a week 2, although it does help the opposition, it helps your partner a lot more, because if you have exactly what Carol said you should have, which is 2 of the top 4 honors and a 6-card suit for that for the opening week 2 bid, your partner knows that and can perhaps find 3 no trump or 4 hearts or whatever, etc. So don't be put off by the fact that a week 2 bid gives away a lot of information. It's very important in the bidding situation that your partner gets a really accurate picture of your hand very quickly.
But Simon is correct in that if a week 2 or a preemptive 3 is opened, it's a little bit easier for the defenders to be thinking about what they need to think than in a general situation.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Roy, did you say 2 of the top 3 or 2 of the top 4 there?
Well, we normally say 2 of the top 3, yeah, or 3 of the top 4, or 3 of the top 5.
Okay.
In other words, you might do it with King Queen 10, or sorry, Queen Jack 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Queen Jack 10
or Ace Jack 10.
Or Ace Jack 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
Depends on the intermediates, if you're going to
yes.
do that.
Yeah.
But the other thing as well is like week 2s have stood the test of time. Like initially in ACL, I mean, they had strong 2s. They had 2 hearts, 2 spades, 2 diamonds. They're all strong bids.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with that was that they don't come up. Like the frequency of you having a massive hand, and then you were wasting 4 bids, basically all the 2 level, to describe these strong hands.
Yeah.
And you can describe them all with a 2 club bid. You just go 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, and then you just bid, and that shows your strong hand. Okay. And week 2s have been part of the American system like for forever, pretty much forever. And bids don't survive in a system unless they're working.
Yeah, and I wouldn't teach. I don't teach strong 2s. I only teach 2 clubs as a strong 2. So even now, even though I'm teaching ACL, I will teach 3 week 2s as the basic system.
Yeah.
There was a guy called Eli Culbertson from America who really popularized bridge over in the States. And he was a great showman, and his wife was a great player. And he came over to the UK to play against the English team. And they absolutely annihilated, because their system with 5-card majors, strong no trump, and the weak twos, etc., whereas the English at that time thought that the ACOL system was the only system that could be played. ACOL now is only played in Northern Ireland, Republic of Ireland, England, Scotland, and Wales, and one other country, New Zealand. And the rest play either strong clubs or SAYC. You'll see SAYC, Standard American Yellow Card, which is now 5-card majors, strong no trump, and that's basically Standard American weak twos, etc.
The only advantage with ACOL is that it's so bad that it actually gets the players a great card skill, and then they're how do you put it? I start off my juniors on basic ACOL, on 4-card majors and stuff like that, because it gives them a certain, they have to look at the hands.
And the weak no trump is a very preemptive bid that a lot of people find difficult to bid over, because they haven't worked out a way of defending against it. So, we teach, Thomas, myself, Carol, we all teach ACOL, but none of us play it. So we teach it because it's a great way, as Carol said, it's a brilliant way of understanding bridge, much better way than SAYC, because SAYC's the easy way. But it's very simple to change to 5-card majors once you understand ACOL.
Okay, so this is our next hand here, board 3. Okay, now you can't see the dummy, okay, but this is your West card here. So I think everybody's going to lead a spade. Is that fair enough?
No.
Against 3-no trump, yeah?
No. Yeah.
What would you lead?
5 of clubs.
Okay.
Just don't want to lead the spades into the strong hand.
Yeah. But if you don't lead them, you might not be able to get them.
And also, they didn't do stamens, so nobody has 4.
Well, we don't know whether South has 4 or not.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, but you're not, Maeve, you're not wrong. There are people who would lead passively on this hand and hope to wait for their spade tricks.
Yeah, but if you look at the South has 1-0 trumps, that's 15-17. Okay, North banged them to game, so they've got at least 25 points. You're looking at 10. So your partner's got 5 points at most. So I mean, if you give declare enough time, the odds are they're going to be able to establish 9 tricks.
Yes. Yeah.
So I mean, that the best way of knocking this is hoping that your partner has the Queen of Spades or the Ace of Spades. Get your spades established while you have the Ace of Hearts in it, and hope that the declarer doesn't have 9 tricks before then. So I think that's the, and I haven't said that.
Also, if you lead a club, which club are you going to lead, and why will your partner not think that you have a decent club suit? You may lose a trick on that.
Leading,
Yeah, if my partner led a club, I would assume they had 4 to an honour.
Exactly, yeah.
If you're going to lead a club from this holding, by the way, you should be leading the 5, right? To try and because then when your partner tries to use the rule of 11, it's not going to work.
It won't work.
So then they're going to figure out you don't afford them. Okay, but certainly not the 3, and even the 4 is probably not good in this case. But anyway, the other thing, I mean, well, strangely enough, the robot would probably agree with you and probably would pick either a club or a diamond, but they lead passively. But on this hand, I think the best chance is definitely to find partner with it.
And certainly in teams.
Yeah.
Certainly in imps, your best chance is to try to set up your suit. So in match pointed pairs, you might decide to lead passive, but in teams, I'd say if you put this hand in trials, everybody would lead some spade.
And you have an entry with your heart.
Yeah. That's the whole plan.
My partner never has the Queen of Spades, and I lead that.
And by the way, Maeve, you might find that they don't have the Queen of Spades when they lead it now.
It's called the root. I think it's called the root of Maeve in bridge. We can absolutely assure them that they don't have the Queen of Spades. Isn't that right, Maeve?
That's right. Or the 10.
Yeah, and you're actually right. I mean, statistically speaking, statistically speaking, the chances of East having an honor in spades is actually quite low because all of the points are north-south.
Yeah.
But you see, the other problem with leading a minor is like you might just pick up that suit then for declare. It's pure blind.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, if I was going to lead a minor, I would actually lead a diamond, not a club, because there's more chance of partner having a long diamond suit as opposed to a long club suit. Okay.
I think we're going to lead a spade, are we, Carl?
We're leading the spade. Sorry, yeah, we're leading the spade. Okay, so spades. Up goes the ace. Back comes the spade. Sorry, that was really quick. My God.
That's nice.
Okay, so spade goes over to the partner's
No, but
ace.
Maeve, they didn't have the queen.
True.
Now, we can't see East cards here, okay? But depending on what cards East has, what should they be returning?
Well, an echo of some kind, high-low if they've even remained.
Yeah, exactly. So this is massive here, right? Remaining count here, okay? Right? So if East has 3 cards, they should be playing the highest one of whatever they have left at this moment. Okay?
Yeah.
Right? 2 of spades, okay?
Very good.
So East has no card higher than the 2.
He just
had
a doubleton, yeah.
So what does that mean? South has
4 spades.
Yeah.
To there.
Okay.
Can you go back over that again? Why you led the 2 of spades?
Yeah, go back.
Sure, yeah.
So the 3 of spades is led to the ace, and they win. Now, if East had a doubleton spade remaining in their hand, what would they lead?
The higher.
Oh, the
Now,
higher.
did they lead the high? Did they lead a high spade? No, they led the.
The low.
Low.
So they must have a
Doubleton.
doubleton. If they have a doubleton, we know South has
4.
2 there.
8.
Queen.
Queen, yeah.
Oh, the
Queen
queen,
8.
yeah,
It's a Queen 8, you're right. Yeah, Queen 8 is what's remaining in South's cards. Absolutely perfect.
Thank you.
Did you follow that, yeah?
Yes.
Again, that's important, okay? Remaining count coming back is really important, okay? So normally speaking here, you're looking at this, you'd say, oh, this is great. I'm going to play my king of spades, give South a spade, have my ace of hearts, and we're going to get 4 spade tricks and ace of hearts, and we'll knock this. Okay? Which again, you need to start counting, right?
Yeah.
So north-south have at least 25 points between them, right, for bidding the game. You've got 10 points. That leaves partner with
5
at most. They've shown up with the ace of spades, right?
Nothing left, yeah.
So they got maybe a jack if they're lucky.
If they're lucky.
They're lucky, right? Okay. So that means that north-south is pretty much ready to go, right? They've definitely got the king of diamonds. They've definitely got the ace queen of clubs. And they probably have the jack of diamonds, right? So the minute they get in, there's going to be 3 club tricks flashed on the table and another 5 diamond tricks.
Yeah.
Everybody see that, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So if we give South a spade trick, North is going to say, thank you very much, wrap up 9 tricks and go, that's it, next board. Okay. So what do we need South to have, distributionally speaking, to be able to beat this?
2 diamonds.
No.
We can't establish diamonds, If we can stop them.
2 diamonds, king, jack, they can establish the diamond.
All right, okay.
But that's okay. But that's not a problem necessarily, is it? That's not a problem. Think about it. Keep going. What else do we need them to have?
King, jack of heart.
Well, okay. So, but we've the ace queen, don't we? So that's not a problem, is it?
King, doubleton, heart.
We've got 3 spade tricks in the bag already, guys, right? So if we get 2 heart tricks, they're down, right? Now South definitely has a king of hearts. That's 100%, okay?
Yeah.
We know that, right? Okay. And we know they've got 4 spades for sure. Okay, and then we know they got the king of diamonds, and we know they got the ace queen of clubs.
Yes.
Right.
So if they have any 3 diamonds, they're probably going to make it. If they got king, jack, doubleton, the diamonds, the diamond suit is coming in. Okay. But if they only have 3 clubs, right?
Count their tricks.
Count their tricks. What tricks do they got?
Yeah.
3 club tricks and how many diamonds?
5.
What's that?
8.
So if we don't give them the queen of spades.
Yeah. They can't get they have to play hearts or.
Well, they have to do something, don't
They
they?
have to play hearts at least, or spades, of course. Yeah.
They're going to have to do something. So
Yeah.
So this hand is about not panicking, isn't it?
Yeah.
And again, most people will do exactly as Carl said. They'll just cash the king of spades, lead a spade, and wait for their ace of hearts, and that's going to be a disaster for them, isn't it?
Yeah.
So long as South does not have 4 clubs, South or North-South can't make this contract. So long as you don't panic. Okay, if they have 4 clubs, there's nothing you can do about it. Okay, because they're going to get 4 clubs and 5 diamonds.
That's the real way to think about it. If South has 4 clubs, we can't beat this contract, can we?
No.
If South has 4 clubs, they've got 5 diamonds and 4 clubs. By the way, if you cashed your king of spades and gave them a spade and they had 4 clubs, you would have just given them 10 tricks.
One more, yeah.
You'd have given them the over trick, wouldn't you? So whether they've got 4 clubs or not, the right defense at this point is
diamond.
A minor, any minor.
Yeah.
Okay. Any minor is. I probably wouldn't come a diamond just on the off chance that my partner happens to have, 4 diamonds and jack.
Jack 4.
But any minor should. Okay, and there we go. Okay, so.
What does he do?
Very good.
Okay. And that, again, all counting, remaining count coming back is really important. So we know that South has 4 spades. Okay, we have to assume South doesn't have 4 clubs. And all the information is there just literally from pure counting. Okay, nothing to do with signals or anything else. Okay. Forward 9.
Is your head hurting, guys?
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, guys. I mean, even when you were starting bridge, counting 1 suit was hard work, and eventually you worked your way up to 4 suits. But as a defender, you've got to, all the time, you've got to be doing this, and you've got to be updating the picture of the hands as you go along. Okay, so this was the actual bidding that occurred. I'm going to discuss the bidding now in a second, right? So this guy opened 2-0 trump. East bid 3 diamonds, which is a transfer, showing at least 5 hearts. 4 clubs then is what's known as a super accept. It's saying, I really like your hearts, and depending on your agreement, it can show a double or whatever. Okay. East bid 4 hearts, saying, well, that's great, but I don't really have a great hand. I'm not really interested in slam. And West bid the slam anyway because they've got an absolute monster of a hand, right?
Carried on regardless.
Carried on regardless. Okay. Now you notice here that this guy has 23 points. Okay.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, would you consider opening that with 2 clubs as opposed?
Yeah, I mean, if it was me, I would have opened 2 clubs. I mean, in my book, 2-0 trump is 2022, so I don't know what the heck he's doing here.
Okay.
So I would open this 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, and then I would have probably bid 2N. Normally speaking, if I rebid a major, I would tend to have a 6-card suit. And I would tend, generally speaking, not be interested in no trump. And we can always, especially if you're playing puppet stamen or something like that, you can always uncover the 5-card suit later on. So if I was bidding this, I would go 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, 2-0 trump, and then exactly the same auction as. I'm not sure if exactly the same, but it'll be similar anyway.
Okay.
And then your partner, of course, might be a little bit more interested when they know that you've got 23 points as opposed to maybe a possible 20 points. Okay. So that's the auction, right? So let's see, our partner kicks off with a trump. Okay, so a trump tends to be a neutral lead. If they found a club lead, you'd be going, great, well done, partner. But I mean, alternatively, they might have found some other suit which would have hurt. Not in this particular case. So let's go through it. So heart lead, another heart. Okay, so that's all the hearts gone, right? Because we know that East has 5 of them. You're looking at 5 of them. And they've drawn 2 rounds of trumps. That's all the hearts gone. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So let's see what the player does next. Ace diamonds. Okay. Again, the player would is most unlikely to lead an ace of diamonds unless they got really good diamonds in their own hand. Because if they led the ace of diamonds and they're looking, say, queen XX or something like this, that now gives the defense a chance to cash a few diamond tricks, right? So this is confirmed. Okay. Now in this case here, I went a little bit quickly here. So just go back here a second ago. Okay. So ace of diamonds, and your partner plays 3. Okay. So this is now where showing count is important. Okay. That's the lowest possible diamond the partner has. So partner has an odd number of diamonds. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so they've either got 1, 3, or 5, right? Okay. Now you would have picked this up anyway, okay, because that's now 3 rounds of diamonds. You've only got the remaining diamond. So at this point, East has 5 hearts. We know that for sure because of the transfer, and we know they got 3 diamonds exactly. Guaranteed. This is absolutely okay. So that means that they've now got 3 and 5 is 8. They've got 5 cards we don't know about. Okay, next declarer plays a club up. Now let's just have a think about those 5 cards, okay? So if East over here has 2 spades and 3 clubs, we can't beat this contract, okay? Because if East has 2 spades, it's going to go ace, king of spades, spade ruff, okay? And then they're going to lose a club, that's it. Ever see that?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so if they've got 2 spades and 3 clubs, we can't beat this contract. So we need them to precisely have 3 spades and 2 clubs. Okay, and that now gives us a chance at having a club loser for declarer and also a spade loser for declarer. Okay, and when you're defending, you need to make these assumptions, right? So in other words, you have to say to yourself, the only way I can beat this is if East's hand is blah blah blah. Now, if it turns out that East's hand isn't blah blah blah, well, tough. Okay, you can never beat the contract in the first place. Okay. And this is really especially important at teams, okay, because we're going all out to try and knock the contract. Okay. So the shape that we need is 3 spades, 5 hearts, 3 diamonds, 2 clubs. Okay. Now, when this club comes off the table, what are you going to do?
What can we play, everybody? And
what are you going to play?
King.
Okay, so let's say we play the king. Right now, you're on lead.
Queen, because it's the lowest, yeah?
Yeah. So you're on lead now, right?
What do you do?
Now what are you going to do?
Yeah. So, yeah. 4, 5, 6, 7,
If you win with the queen, right? What card do you need your partner to have, basically in spades, for this to be able to knock this?
The jack.
Jack.
The jack. Okay, but if your partner doesn't have the jack, what's going to happen?
They might.
East will have the jack then.
Yeah, and what are you going to do? What do you have to lead now if you're north?
Remember now, we've assumed that East has 2 clubs in their hand and 3 spades. Okay, so East has no more clubs left. So if you come a club, you're going to give a ruff and discard. Okay.
If you come a diamond, you're going to give a ruff and discard.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to lead,
The spade. Yeah.
And East is going to play the
jack.
There you go. Contract made.
Yeah.
You end played yourself.
Yeah. So
did you need to win that club?
Maybe. Oh gosh. If you don't.
But if you don't win the club, if your partner can't win the club, we've just worked out you can't beat the
contract.
Didn't we?
If East has a jack of clubs, guys, you can't beat this. Okay.
But if holding the contract is a good score,
No, but we're talking about before you learn how to hold the contract, before you think in terms of match pointed pairs, you have to think in terms of what? Teams.
Teams, yes.
Teams is the purest form of the game, lads. Match pointed pairs is a hybrid version of bridge. Team of 4 is the way you're supposed to be thinking when you play bridge. Match pointed pairs is just a different, like stroke play in golf as opposed to Stableford. It's a different way of playing, isn't it?
Match points, to be honest with you guys, is more like poker than it is bridge.
It is.
You just do mad stuff in match points, and you try and get a good score. But in teams, it's all about trying to knock the contract. And there's an awful lot more, far more working out what you need to do that.
Yeah.
Like if you hold the contract to 6 spades, well, the problem is if you could have beaten it, that's going to get you a bottom anyway. You know what I mean? So you need to try and, well, certainly in my opinion,
is that a fair point, Maeve? That do you see the point? What the point Karl is making, that if you can, while you're thinking, well, if we can hold it, we might get a good score. You might get a 0 for holding it if you could have put it down.
Yeah, no, I'm very confused between I don't play much teams at all, so I never think like that.
Yeah, but trust Carl and myself, right?
Yeah.
If you learn how to think like this in teams, you will then find it easier to be able to master pairs in terms of the risk versus reward strategy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's harder to think like it in pairs. It's easier to think to yourself, what do I need my partner to have to put them down? That's your first protocol. And then after that comes, okay, how do I negate that if I'm playing match pointed pairs? How do I give myself some protection against that? Okay?
Mm.
Pairs is a totally different game, guys. Totally different. Okay, like you know, sometimes you will have your 9 tricks and 3 trump, and you will have to take a risky finesse for +1, because if everybody else makes 10 tricks, you making 9 tricks irrelevant. You're going to get a 0. Okay. In teams, though, that'd be totally and utterly mad.
Bonkers.
Okay?
Bonkers. Yeah. Even if the finesse had succeeded earlier on, I know people who wouldn't finesse the second time in teams for fear that if it was wrong and somebody did a good play against them, that they'd go down.
Yeah. In teams, you just make your contract end the story. And as defenders, you try and beat the contract, end the story, whatever's required to do that.
But I play mostly pairs, you know, and you get a 0 if you let them make +1.
Yeah, absolutely. Pairs is
brutal.
Pairs is brutal. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
so we're focusing totally on teams then.
Always focus on teams. Teams is the way expert players think, and then they learn how to put that thinking in use with pairs. But if you can't think in terms of teams, it's harder to do it in pairs. Do you see the point? Do you see what we're trying to get across?
Yeah, I've never thought about that.
Yeah, that's, if you have never thought about it, it's something that you can now think about as you're playing. Yeah.
So if East has 2 jacks, the jack of spade and the jack of club, then there isn't any hope really for the contract. The contract, you know,
the contract is always going to make.
Is always going to make.
Yeah.
Would it have been better for North to initially at the very beginning to have led the king of club?
Well, North wasn't on lead, were they?
North wasn't on lead. South.
Unfortunately.
Oh, South was. Yeah, South was on
unfortunately,
lead.
Yeah.
Mm.
If South had led a club, yeah, that'd have been good news. But you'd still be in the same situation.
If they're going to go ace of clubs, draw trumps, play 3 rounds of diamonds, and lead the 7 of clubs. And you're in the exact same position. You're still going to, but the fact that your partner has led a club might give you a clue as to whether they have the jack or not.
Yeah.
So could make a big difference. But if you think about it, as Karl has said, if East has 3 clubs and 2 spades, there's no beating of this contract. There's no beating of it. If West has 3 spades to the jack, well, then we have to work out, if East has 3 spades to the jack, then we have to work out how we can beat it. And it looks as if by what East is doing, what are they doing? They've cashed all their trumps, haven't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They've cashed all their diamonds. And then they've eliminated the
opposite.
So they're trying to end play somebody, aren't they? It's their only way they can make it. And if we recognize that, we should recognize we're the one who might be
end played.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to if a declarer wants to end play me, am I going to let them end play me?
No. Definitely not.
Isn't that what Karl said at the start? If we can work out what declarer is trying to do, we just do the opposite. Now again, we have to play the 10 of clubs and hope our partner's awake, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
If we play the 10 of clubs and that wins, what has our partner just done?
Partner is end played.
But if we play the 10 of clubs and partner has worked out what they're trying to do, partner might be able to overtake the 10 with the
jack
and play a
spade.
And now declarer's goose is
cooked.
Yeah.
Well and truly.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, on defending this hand, when West played the ace of clubs, North should really have dropped the king on it. Just to make it just to kind of try and wake partner up. And then later on, when they play a small club, then South should be saying, "What in God's name is partner doing? He's played the king, and now he's played a low card. Why is he doing this?" you know. I give them a clue. The other thing, just going back to the pairs and teams thing, is you see in pairs you kind of need to figure out how good this contract is. So what I'm trying to say to you is, how many people are actually going to bid 6 hearts on these two hands? Okay, like if like 20% of the room is going to bid 6 hearts, then if they make 6 hearts, you're on a crap score anyway.
Yes.
Okay. Whereas if you can knock 6 hearts, now you're suddenly going to get a top. Okay.
You go
in
from the
teams,
bottom to a top,
in teams, it doesn't matter. In teams, they've bid 6 hearts. Your job is to beat it. Full stop.
Yeah. Excellent point, Carl. Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if they make +1. Yeah.
No, it's irrelevant. Who cares? You're trying to knock. You know, it's just an imp. You know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And you pray to God your partners are in 6 hearts, because if they're not, and the 6 hearts makes, you're going to lose. But
well, it's not your fault. It's not your fault then, Carl. That's
that's true.
Yeah, if they're not in it, it's not your fault. Yeah.
So that's why pairs is a much harder game, because you don't know where the goalposts are basically.
Yeah.
Whereas in teams, it's really easy. Make your contract, beat the contract. That's it.
Pairs is brutal. It's brutal. It's a brutal way to play bridge. And one of the best players in Ireland, Padraig O'Brien, refuses to play pairs, doesn't he? Practically. And when he plays pairs, he actually plays as if he's playing teams. He just refuses to think in terms of pairs, because when he's playing abroad all the time, and they've made the World Championships twice, so what they do can't be that bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Could I ask you about the bidding in that hand?
Well, yeah, but it wasn't our bidding now.
No, I understand. Oh, yeah, okay. I thought it was your bidding. That's fine.
No.
I wouldn't have bid 4 hearts there. Would you not wait with? You want the strong hand to be?
Yeah, you should be retransferring, maybe.
Yeah. That's
okay.
Yeah, I mean the bidding as it was terrible, because I mean this person denied. You know, they had 23 points with
a decent 5-card suit, like.
Yeah. So I mean, if they'd opened 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, 2 hearts, now this hand is much more. Because now it's 23 plus, what is that, 8 points, 31. Now you're getting closer to the slam. Whereas 20 plus 8
is nowhere near.
Yeah.
Okay. So if it went 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, 2 trump, 3 clubs, 3 hearts, you know, you could 4 clubs. You could cube it now 4 diamonds.
Yeah.
You know, give it a little push. You know. But on the actual auction, the West just took a flyer. He just basically took a flyer, you know. And again, that's another reason why you want to try and really work hard to knock this contract, because it's you know, probably not going to be a common contract.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we go. Okay, so 1 club by South, pretty normal. Pass, 1 diamond by North. Double with this hand here. A little bit light. Wouldn't be my. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. 1 spade, 4-card suit, 3 hearts. What does this show, guys? What does the 3 hearts show?
Spade. Oh, should show about 10, 11 points, maybe, or.
Okay, yeah. And how many hearts at least?
5.
4.
Yeah, it could be 4, probably 5. Okay. The point here again is this is a free bid. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. West doesn't have to bid at all.
Yeah.
Right. They could bid 2 hearts, which shows whatever. So 3 hearts is definitely saying, you know, listen, if you got anything at all, maybe we should be in 4. Okay?
Yeah, if you have a real double.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly, Tom. So if you got a real double, you should be in 4. Okay.
Carl, sorry, if they bid 3 hearts there, if that would suggest that they have 5 hearts anyway, they didn't overcall the club opening.
Yeah, that's a good point. And that's something that will show you when the hand comes up.
Or there was a reason why
low points.
Well, no, not necessarily low points. Maybe the suit wasn't good enough to.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, so they're in 3 hearts for the sins, right? And partner leads a club. Okay, so they lead the suit. Okay, and again, 3 of clubs here. Right. Remember what Thomas said earlier on. When you've got 3 to an honor, you lead a low one. If you've got 3 crappy ones, you tend to lead a higher or middle one. Okay. But there's a strong inference here that this is either 4-card suit to the queen, or it's a 3-card suit to the queen. Okay, or possibly a singleton, right? But that's unlikely. Okay. So how are we going to get 5 tricks? We've got to get 5 tricks from somewhere here. Where are we getting our 5 tricks?
Diamond.
So let's take each suit in turn. Let's have a look at the club suit. Okay, so if North has 4 clubs, we're going to get 1 club trick. That's no use. Is that fair enough?
Yeah.
Okay, one club is no good to us, right? Because they're going to be the rough next one. So we need to assume North has 3 clubs to the Queen.
Yeah.
So that gives us 2 club tricks. Yeah, we got the Ace of Hearts.
3.
That's 3.
Yeah.
Okay. We're probably going to get a spade trick because our Queen Jack 9 is sitting over the Ace 10 8. That's 4. But we're kind of running out now at this point. Where in God's name are we going to get another club trick from, or another trick from?
Diamond.
But how do we get a diamond rough?
Can you get a diamond rough?
But how? If we lead a diamond, our partner's not likely going to win the ace. If they win the ace, that's easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
But if they
the
don't
Ace of
win
Diamonds,
the
you're
ace,
laughing. Yeah.
You're laughing. That's an easy way to get 5 tricks. But what if they don't have the Ace of Diamonds?
If you lead a low club, then the same to lead a diamond now.
Okay, so the plan basically is this, right? If we're going to lead a diamond, if partner has the ace, this thing is down so long as partner is awake, right? And it returns a diamond. We get a ruff. We're going to get 2 hard tricks, the Ace of Diamonds and 2 clubs. Boom, it's down. Okay. Now, if partner doesn't have the Ace of Diamonds, the Clare is going to win it. They're going to lead a heart, and we're going to do what?
Look.
Play low.
No, we're not going to play low. We're going to jump up with the ace, right? Because if we play low, then we can't get a diamond ruff, right? Because we're going to be ruffing with our ace. So we're going to jump up with the ace, and we're going to try and find some entry to our partner's hand.
Lead a low club and hope the partner is the Queen.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's got to be a low club, right? It can't be a spade. A spade is
and doesn't that fit with the logic of what we said, leading low from 3 to
an honor?
And if your partner has a singleton, what are they going to do when you lead your low club?
They'll rough.
And then they lead a
diamond
for you to
rough.
So if they have a singleton, it's okay, isn't that right? But if they treated the Queen, that's even better, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
But of course, what do most people do when they're defending on this hand? They cash the
ace.
They cash the ace of clubs, and then they lead the diamond, and then they're surprised when the declarer
hasn't got the ace.
Makes the contract.
Yeah.
So your job is to try to give yourselves as many chances as possible to beat the contract, isn't it? You have 2 chances. One, your partner has the ace of
diamonds,
and the second chance is your partner has the
Queen of clubs,
and your third chance is your partner has a singleton club. Is that fair enough?
Yeah.
It's very unlikely though.
And yet if you take the ace of clubs, it's a trick. Is that so? Yeah.
Well, it's bad, isn't it? You don't want to.
I know it's a trick. You're basing it on the fact that you hope to get more.
But hope doesn't. Hope, as somebody said, a comedian said, hope don't butter no parsnip.
Yeah.
I mean, your hope is your partner has the Queen of
clubs,
and that's a much more likely hope, isn't it, from the lead, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes,
it is.
So remember what we said about visualization and aspiration. Yeah. That's the key to defense. And as Karl said, go through each of the suits: 2 clubs, 2 tricks, nothing in diamonds, Ace of Hearts, 3 tricks. Okay. Where are the other 2 tricks going to come from? You all spotted a diamond ruff, by the way. You all spotted that, but the key to it is that you could get a diamond ruff by either your partner having the Ace of Diamonds or the Queen of Clubs or a singleton club.
Yeah.
And doing it now gives you a chance. You also need them to have a many spades, by the way. Karl spoke about it earlier on.
Your partner?
No, declarer.
Declarer. Be nice if you had 3, I suppose.
It has to have 3 or you're not going to get a spade trick, are you?
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, but we know they've only a doubleton club, don't we?
Right, yeah.
Okay. Or that doesn't work. We know our partner has 4 diamonds. So they must have 5 or 4 diamonds on your left as well, isn't that right? And we know they must have 4 or 5 hearts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other thing, guys, when you're defending, trick 1. Okay, trick 1. Okay, do not play a card. Okay, I don't care I don't care how obvious you think it is, right? At trick one, you should never ever play quickly to a card. Some of these declarers, they do this. The partner leads a card, and about 0.1 of a second they play another card, putting pressure on you, to follow suit quickly. Okay, to put your cards down, have a good think about the hand, and try and figure out what it is you're trying to do. Okay, the amount of contracts that are let out at trick one is just unbelievable.
Yes, I've read that. The first trick often decides the contract.
You're not.
You read that, Cecily, but it's never happened to you.
People won't.
It's often happened.
People think that taking time at trick one is not right. It's the only time that you're allowed to take a certain amount of time, and then the rest of the time your cards should be played in tempo. And the amount of times you see this happen, a card is played, declarer wins, and then starts thinking. That's wrong, isn't it? Declarer should be thinking before they play a card from
Dummy.
And 5 minutes spent in preparation at the start of the hand, or a minute spent in preparation at the start of the hand, will save you 5 minutes in panic later on.
And if you're on BBO when you watch some of these, top level games that are going on, sometimes you think the declarer has gone to sleep. He's there for 4 or 5 minutes, and you're saying, what is he thinking about? And of course, you got to remember, the declarer can only see 2 hands. He can't see 4. So because you're a double dummy and you can see the finesse is obvious, it might not be that obvious. And he's thinking about all the possibilities that are going on. And that's what you should be doing as a declarer and as a defender. Okay, you should always take your time at trick one, always. Anyway, okay, so let's follow our plan. So we're going to switch to a diamond. Now, notice North's 6 of diamonds here, okay? This is a situation which, again, good defenders try and help their partner, right? Okay, so if on another hand, North had an entry, say, in spades, right? They would play a high diamond here, suit preference, saying, partner, okay, I recognize your 3 of diamonds is almost certainly a singleton, and I'm playing a high diamond here to signal my entries in spades. This is a low diamond, okay? So they're trying to confirm again that their only entry is the queen of clubs. Everybody follow that?
And we know the 6 of diamonds is the second lowest diamond available, isn't it? The 2, 3, 5 are visible.
Yeah,
so if West had the 2 and the 4 of diamonds, what would North's 6 of diamonds be? The lowest diamond they have, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Even though the 6 isn't a low diamond, it is a low diamond when we can see the 2, the 3, and the
5.
The 5.
Yeah.
Because partner has a choice of probably 5 diamonds which to play, don't they?
Yeah, that's exactly the point I'm going to make here. North has 5 diamonds that they can play, and we've just let a diamond into the king jack, so North's diamonds are irrelevant at this point, okay? Because they don't have the ace. So, they can afford to play any diamond they want, and whatever diamond they play should show where they think they might have an entry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's confirming the lead of the 3 of clubs has got the
Queen.
The queen, it's confirming the information we already have.
Yeah. Okay, so heart led, jump up a race, okay, and then we play a small club to partner, and then they give us a diamond rough. Okay, and now at this stage again, you need to be careful. Okay, you can't play a club here. If you play a club, that's a rough and discard.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. You don't have any hearts to play, so you got to play a spade, and clearly you need to play the queen and not a low one.
Yeah.
Okay, and then boom, that's it. And the declarer's dead now. Okay.
Queen king.
Brilliant.
All of these hands that I'm showing you, they're all about thinking at trick one, trying to figure out the distribution of the hands, trying to figure out what the points are, count, making a plan, and trying to execute it. Okay, next one. Let's have a look. Okay, so pass by East, pass by yourself with a 11 count, is it?
Yes, 11. Yeah.
A grim 11.
A grim 11, yeah.
Yes.
I have to say I've opened it, but that's it's a shocking hand. It's a shocking hand. Okay, yeah. Cover your ears. Okay.
Yeah, it's not for children. It's not for children.
Definitely not. Definitely not. Yeah. I can't imagine partner's going to be exactly overly happy when this collection hits dummy. Pass here again. West seat. North opens a strong 1 of trump. Pass 2 clubs. Stamen pretty normal. Double suggesting a club lead. 2 spades, I got 4 spades, pass, 3 or trump. Okay. All very good. So you're in the west hand here, okay? And partner is almost certainly going to lead a club, okay? So you get ready for this. All right, so 3 clubs is led, and the jack goes in. Okay, so first question is, how many clubs does East have?
3.
I
I think 3.
He has 3.
Okay, why has he got 3?
Because he's
Lowest
led
card.
an uneven number.
Yeah.
Or-
So he could have a singleton, okay?
Well, North opened 1 no trump, so North
Okay,
would have
yeah.
a singleton.
have
Exactly. So
Two,
North
yeah,
must
yeah.
have a
these two.
Doubleton.
double.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go through it again. So if East has a singleton, that's no use to you, okay? That's not going to get you anywhere, right? Because the only way that you're going to beat this contract more than likely is some club tricks, right? So you're hoping now that East has 3 clubs, North has 2 clubs, and you know that East has to have the king. Why does East have to have the king?
They did 3.
They led
Exactly.
at 3, okay? They led a low club, right? And as we said before, you lead low club from 3 to an honor, and if you've got 3 rags, you lead your high one, right? So you know East has a king, okay? So if you hit this with the ace, what's going to happen?
You never get in again, maybe, to cash the clubs. No?
Yeah, or you can
Yeah,
clear the
well
clubs,
done.
okay? You go ace of clubs, club over to your partner's king, he'll play another club, and you've got these 2 club winners now. But the
Yeah.
only way you can get into those 2 club winners is with the king of diamonds.
King of
Yeah.
diamonds.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
so let's have a look. Let's count the points now and see is that likely, right? So there's 11
Oh.
points in dummy.
Yeah.
North has at least 15,
15,
maybe
yeah.
16,
26.
right? So
Yeah.
26, 7 points over here, 33.
32.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then East already, so that's 7 points that East can have. Okay, and East has already shown up the king of clubs. So East has at this point, 4 points available.
Yeah.
Put it that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the only way that your king of diamonds is going to be an entry is if East exactly has the ace of diamonds. Okay.
And you can't.
And that is unlikely. That is extremely unlikely. Okay. When you're playing your partner for one specific card like this, based on very narrow, margins, if you want to put it that way, it's highly unlikely. Okay.
Well, if they do have the ace of diamonds, there's another interesting point. It means North has 4 spades to the ace, king, queen, and North also has the king, queen of hearts.
Yeah.
So there's 8 tricks in the majors, isn't it?
Yeah. Plus the club trick, so they're home.
Is 9, isn't it?
Yes.
So if your partner has the ace of diamonds, then they can always make 9 tricks. Does that make sense? So we don't play them for that card.
Okay. So now we've said East doesn't have the ace of diamonds. So going back to trick 1, we need to play a low club. Keep the communications open. Ever see that?
Yeah.
Okay. And now when partner gets in again, they'll play the king of clubs, club over to your ace, and it's wonderful. Okay. Now at the same time, what you want to do is you want to play an encouraging club here. Now I don't know what way you play this, okay? But you could play the 9 or the 10, saying okay, I'm ducking this club partner, but I do have the ace, so that if you get in, play the king and another one to go over to me. Okay.
But should your partner really know it anyway, Karl, in the sense of could you possibly be doubling 2 clubs for a club lead without the ace of club?
Absolutely, yeah. If you're a sound citizen, that's correct. But if you're
I know.
If you come from Turkey, well, forget about it.
You see the point I'm making to you.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of trust, that, doesn't it?
Well, that's the point Karl's making. That if you don't have if you're not certain, West can play whatever your encouraging card is to say, partner, I know I doubled to show you the lead and I know I haven't won, but I'm doing it for a reason. I like what you've done. Some people play upside down attitude, in which case they play their lowest club to say they like it. Some people play standard attitude, in which case they play the 10 or the 9 to say they like it. Okay?
And again, notice this is a trick 1, guys. Trick 1.
If you don't think about it at trick 1, what are you very likely going to do?
Panic later.
You're going to win, aren't you?
Regret it.
You're going to win. You're very likely. And if you don't think it's trick one, what does my partner have? How can I beat this contract? You're going to win the ace of clubs and then start thinking about it, aren't you?
Too late.
And it's too late.
Yeah.
It's too late, yeah.
Yeah. Trick one, it's too late. There you go. Okay, and as I said, it happens so many times. Trick one. If you take nothing away from this, trick one, just slow down and think, and try and get some plan in action.
You'll also get an awful lot more respect from your opposition because they'll know you're putting your shoulder to the wheel as opposed to just pulling cards.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another thing. I mean, myself and Anna got a very good reputation of being very strong defenders. And, and as a result, people didn't overbid against us because they knew that we were going to go down, and see that this,
And you could overbid against them, Karl.
Oh, here, listen, stop. No comments. Yeah.
That's why he was known as Roulette the Raemaker.
Okay, next board. Let's have a look. So that's that one. Okay, so 2 clubs by Souths. Big hand of some sort. 2 diamonds just rolling. 2 spades. Okay, so again, this is normally speaking, this is an unbalanced hand. At least 6 spades. And well, I don't know what the point count range for this is, but at least 8 plain tricks or 20 plus or whatever it is. Okay. 2-no trump. That's normally a second negative. What else would you be able to hand? I suppose you could bid 3 spades.
I prefer 3 spades.
Yeah, I think 3 spades.
With the 4 triples and 3, maybe they're just being conservative.
In
standard
ACL, 2-no trump there says the partner.
Rubbish, yeah,
nothing.
I agree.
But, I mean, here you got an ace and 3 trumps, so that's not nothing. Anyway, that's the way it was bidded. 3 spades. 3 spades is stronger than 4. 3 spades is again. This is if you keep the room in the bidding, you tend to have a stronger hand, and then 4 spades by North is same. Okay. Again, with this hand, I'd have actually bid 4 clubs because.
Of course we would. Like normal people. But anyway, they bid 4 spades, and that's where they play.
4 spades.
Can I just say here that generally speaking, when people open 2 clubs and you go 2 diamonds, you're going 2 diamonds to say I've less than 8 points. I don't have a 5-card major and 8 points. I don't have a 6-card minor and 8 points. So therefore, I'm playing 2 diamonds as a relay. And if they go back to a suit, generally speaking, you can regard that as forcing to game. Okay? Forcing to game. So the 2-no trump is a second negative. When your partner now goes to 3 spades, he's saying, well, have you anything in spades? Even a couple of spades might do. He's saying, I'm a bit stronger than that. I'm going to stop at 4 spades. And 4 spades is just no, cut off. That's it. That's all I have. Okay?
Okay, so
what clubs be confusing there since if you didn't support the spades on the second round.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I don't like this auction. Okay, this auction is
you can't.
Total,
yeah,
it's total rubbish as far as I'm concerned. Okay.
All right. Okay.
We'd have bid 3 spades, I think, over 2.
Yeah, 2 spades, 3 spades, and we wouldn't be able to queue at that point.
No. Yeah.
Okay, but this is, as I said, anyway. This is what happened. That's all I can say. So, okay. So what do we want to lead from the West Hand?
Queen of Hearts.
Queen of Hearts. I think it's fairly standout, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Certainly not going to lead a diamond away from the Ace Queen. Trump.
That's a place in hell if you lead a singleton trump.
Yeah. Trump is not great here. I mean, if your partner's 3 to the Queen, they're not going to be happy bunnies. So
no.
And then a club is okay, but it's certainly a heart when you've got a sequence like this. Normally very safe. Okay, so we're going to lead a Queen of Hearts, right? Okay, so where's the Ace of Hearts?
South.
East. Probably south.
Okay, let's look at it another way. If East had the Ace of Hearts, would they duck the Queen of Hearts?
No.
No.
They shouldn't duck the Queen.
No,
they shouldn't, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a possibility South could have a singleton King of Hearts. We don't know that, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, East would look an awful fool if he ducked the Queen of Hearts when he's got the Ace. And he knows you don't have the king because you led the queen, right?
Yeah.
So East can't have the ace of hearts. Can't. Okay. Again, if he's a sound soul. Okay. So the other thing here is that East's job. Well, again, it depends what way you're playing these. Playing the leads. But normally speaking, East's job here is to give a count signal here.
This is a question, Karl, that I know several people. This is a question, Karl, that I know several people want to discuss: when to play count and when to play attitude in certain situations, and how it can help you.
Yeah. Okay. Let's put it this way: this hand has nothing in hearts, right? Okay, because the queen promises the jack, and the ace and king are in the south hand, so there's nothing in hearts here. Okay, so they don't really want to
East
be
really has nothing at all because
in hearts. But what can they show?
West has 11 points.
Yeah, but what can East show in hearts?
Yeah.
Whether they've
exactly
2, 3, or 4.
Yeah. Whether they have an even number or whether they have an
odd number.
Odd number.
Okay, now if they've an even number, what will they play?
An even card.
An even card.
Well, no, they'll play high followed by
lower one.
Yeah.
They'll Peter,
low.
won't they? They'll Peter, yeah.
Peter, yeah.
And if they've an odd number, they'll play their lowest card, won't they?
Yeah.
But what do we know when they play the 3 of hearts if we're playing count, and we should be in this situation?
It has to be uneven.
Low.
No.
It's an odd one.
Oh, yeah, odd.
Yeah.
It has to be odd.
Odd,
It has to be odd.
Because it's their lowest.
And if we know South has the ace and the king, we know South must have
How many hearts?
3.
exactly.
3.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Okay, everybody happy?
And we know South has 3 hearts as opposed to 5. Why does South not have 5 hearts?
Because they
he
were
bid spades.
insisting on spades and didn't
Exactly,
ever
yeah.
mention
Yeah.
See up here in the auction?
Yeah.
Okay, then they would have
Very
been 3
good.
hearts here and not 3 spades, right? Showing both suits. Okay. So trick 1, because a partner's 3 of hearts, West knows East is 3 hearts, South is 3 hearts, the ace, king, X.
And West can eventually establish a,
Hard trick.
hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Let's get rid of it. Yeah.
So to go back to the question about whether you play attitude account. So in this case here, it's clear that East showing attitude is irrelevant. Okay. It doesn't matter. So what does partner want to know? Partner wants to know what count is. So that's the information you give them. Okay. On another sequence, right? Let's say, for instance, there was, I don't know, let's say there was the king of hearts was in dummy here, and then partner led the jack of hearts. Okay. Then that's different, right? Because now West might want to know, does East have the queen of hearts or not? Okay. So now you might play an attitude signal. Okay. But the bottom line is you need to agree this kind of stuff.
You do either or, is it?
It depends on the cards you can see and what's being played.
So your partner has to work it out.
Yeah.
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 It's quite hard for East, and I've had some raging arguments with Peter about this, but and Peter's right. But what he basically says is,
you'd won with me as well, by the way.
Did I? Okay. Yeah. What Peter basically says is that East needs to figure out what West needs to know. And show them that. Okay, now that's really hard for East to do. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, when they I'll put it to you this way: when East has three little ones, it's not hard for them to know what to tell.
Exactly. Yeah. Not on this hand. On this hand, it's easy.
Not on this. Okay? On this hand, it's fairly easy for East to work out what they need to tell them because they have 3 little cards in hearts. Yeah. But in other situations, it is more difficult. But Karl's point is right. You need to go through this as a partnership, with your favorite partner.
Okay.
It's the other thing about defense, right? That there is no concrete rules. That's the other thing. You can't say every time partner leads a jack, we're going to do this. Every time partner leads a queen, we're going to do this. Every time partner leads a 10, we're going to do this. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
It depends what comes up in dummy. It depends on the bidding. It depends on loads of things. Okay, which is why defense is so hard. And why you need to be in tune.
I think that's very good what you said there about, or what Peter said there about letting your partner know what they want to know or what they need to know.
Yeah.
And if you have that, as Thomas said, if you have that sort of understanding with your partner, that you're going to give your partner every bit of help that they need when they're defending, and not just, as Thomas says, not just pull cards. Give them every single bit of help they need.
And you're
They'll
not
work
going.
it out.
And you're not going to get it right all the time. I mean, Carl doesn't get it right all the time. I most certainly don't get it right all the time. Do you know what I mean? But every time you get it wrong, it builds on your level of experience. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Okay, so back to the hand. So declare now draws 3 rounds of trumps. Okay. And then plays the 10 of diamonds. Okay, so how many spades does South have?
6,
Why did they have 6 as opposed to 5?
because your partner had 3.
Yeah, but I mean, your partner, if your partner has 4 to the jack, let's say, or 4 to the 10, they're still going to play them all. The point I'm trying to say here is that if East had an outstanding trump that South could beat, they would draw the trump, wouldn't they? East had 4 trumps.
Yeah.
South would now play the jack of spades and get rid of that trump.
Mm.
Okay. And then the other point, as we said earlier, is that in the bidding, 2 spades here, you know, the vast majority of the time is a 6-card suit.
Yeah.
So we can play South, or we know now that South has 6 spades, ace, king, queen, jack, and we know they got the ace, king, X of hearts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because of the first 4 tricks, right? So we know 9 of their 13 cards. Is that fair enough?
Yeah.
Okay, so that means that they got 4 cards left in the minors. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so they got 4 cards left in the minors. Okay. Now, if they have a singleton diamond and 3 clubs, the odds are we're not going to beat this.
Yeah. The
Okay.
contract is home. Yeah.
Okay, because they're going to lose 1 diamond. They're going to be able to ruff the diamonds here. They got 3 clubs, so they can probably. Again, it depends on the clubs in the south hand, but the odds are we're probably not going to beat this. Okay, because there's a fairly good chance that they'll be able to score 2 club tricks. Okay, so what we need is 2 diamond tricks and 2 club tricks. Sorry, 2 clubs, 2 diamonds in the south hand and 2 clubs. Okay. So if that's the case, right, we're going to get 2 diamond tricks. We've got the 2 diamond tricks. Okay, we're going to get a heart trick at some point, and then we're going to get a club trick. Okay. Now, where's the king of diamonds? Well, actually, hold on. Let me just reverse that. Where's the king of clubs, far more importantly?
South.
Okay, but if South has the king of clubs, how are we beating this?
If he has 3 clubs.
Still not going to beat it.
No.
Count the trick.
Oh, no, he can
Count
count.
now again. Go back to first principles. How many spade tricks did we think they had?
6.
How many hearts do we know they have?
2.
2.
If they've king and another club, how many clubs have they got?
2.
That's 10 tricks, isn't it?
Yeah.
We can't play them to have the king of clubs, can we?
No.
No.
That's 10 tricks, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 spades, 2 hearts, 2 clubs if they've got the king of clubs. Okay, so partner must have the king of clubs if we have any chance whatsoever.
Yeah.
Okay.
So plays 1 trick.
Okay, but if we look at South's bidding, right, ace, king, queen, 6 spades, ace, king of hearts, that's not enough for a 2 club opener, is it?
No.
No.
It's a very strong hand, but it's not enough for a 2 club opener, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, and we're placing East with the king of clubs, so it looks like South has the king of diamonds. Yeah? So why is South leading the 10 of diamonds when he could have gone over to the ace and he could have maybe finessed the 10 of diamonds on the way back? Why is he doing this?